Yesterday's BTC short zone hit, but is Bitcoin actually going to 84K? I'm also looking at a couple of shorts on the NAS and the Dow today, and oil, funnily enough, looking bearish. This is the daily entry. Let's go. Now, other than the big crypto news yesterday with everything exploding, including all of those altcoins, you might have noticed the Dow was under a ton of pressure in spite of what the Treasury intervention is all about at the moment, causing problems. The guys aren't loving that. So let's take a look at our first chart for the day. This has got to be the US oil chart, which I'm picking up here, is turning a little bit bearish at the moment. You can see we do have a bearish wedge forming. We are seeing signs of reversal prints here on the 8-hour time frame. And what I'm seeing here at the moment is possibly one more burst to the upside and then possibly a drop on oil. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm not specifically looking for a trade today on oil, but this is just a nice note here. If this does turn bearish, you might find after a little pump here that these other assets actually start climbing a little bit higher during the course of the day. So eyes on oil today. This will be our big guide. Let's look at the NAS quickly, see what's going on. You can see yesterday we had a nice move out of these lower regions, and the NAS on the 45-minute is starting to get a little bit overcooked. So what does that mean for us? Well, at the moment, I'm looking at potential short opportunities, 29,950 into around about 29,580, and then slightly higher, guys. I've got 29,680 looking like the short zone. Now, I'm going to be live trading these things on the Chart Hackers YouTube in a couple of hours from now, so we'll hopefully catch some of these playing out. Let's take a look at the Dow, and the Dow put me under a ton of pressure and actually gave away some of my gains from yesterday, but I did fight back a little bit here on UBIT. You can see I got one last position left, and we are trying to grind this one higher on. Now, what happened yesterday? What went wrong? So I had quite a few orders lower down in this region, and we were trying to play, or I was trying to play this region over here. And you can see subsequent to that, the Dow did drop a little bit lower and actually put those levels under pressure that I was working on. But in terms of what we were looking at and what we are watching, you can see here, these horizontals did eventually come into play, and they held strong. And we did see at the same time we got our oscillator reversals, and then the Dow eventually started grinding a little bit higher up. Now, what does that mean for us at the moment? Well, you can see our 1 hour time frame is pushing up now, and that means we can reasonably look for higher on the Dow. So in terms of where are the next short zones that make sense to me, 53,225 looks good, 53,500 looks good. Both of those zones should come into play during our live trading session later on. Now, if the Dow does roll over, we can obviously revisit the lows from yesterday. And then I'd say the big one for me that I've got my eyes on is this red line you see over there. That is our 50-day moving average, and there is some decent support in that region as well. So that is 52,600 as the next big bounce zone there for me on the Dow. We'll obviously cover that one live while we are cooking later on. Let's talk gold quickly as well. Yesterday, short on gold was the right call. It was a nice short. Now we've popped out once again, and you can see gold getting aggressive, and the next obvious zone for me at the moment on gold on the 8-hour is the 786 fib at 4,690. Look at our oscillator, a little bit confused at the moment. You can see mini toe curler here indicating that it does want to go a little bit higher. So in terms of engaging in gold, what makes sense to me, look at this, a beautiful undercarriage sitting in this region, a nice 786 fib as well. So 4,690 into these wicks. I would say 4,750. This is my bear zone for gold during the course of today. If we close above those wicks, obviously different discussion. We'll deal with fresh levels, but right now bearish on gold, 4,690 into this 4,760 region. Now let's talk about the big dog, and Bitcoin eventually drove into the short zone that I covered yesterday, barring a bit of a flush here to the upside, but you can see they have swept it now, and they are possibly going to start rinsing this one a little bit lower. Now this is Bitcoin on the 8-hour time frame. You can see our oscillators are extremely overcooked, and I mean, you might have noticed the market just keeps on squeezing, and all the guys shorting, obviously myself included, getting a little bit smashed here leading into these upper levels. But I do like this area, and I am going to hold this zone strong for now. and looking for this guy to fall over, even if it is a short-term move to the downside. So in terms of what I'm looking at here on BitBase at the moment, I want to see if we can get this type of region in play here, the 74,500 zone. So that short is in play, and in terms of that area, 74,300 looking good to me. Now, what are we going to do here with BTC if it does start running higher? Well, it takes us to some super interesting levels higher up, and we need to just be aware of the fact that we've got to actually zoom out here and get some context in the market. So instead of being dialed into these lower time frame zones, if, for example, the market wants to run higher, where does it go next? So that brings me into this 84K region. So if we have some kind of short-term dip here at the moment, I think the next reasonable push for Bitcoin has got to be this 84K zone. This is a macro fib from the absolute highs on BTC, 84,000. Here's our undercarriage in play over here, and look at that beautiful area. If we pop into this zone, guys, I think there is a mega short here for us cooking on BTC. So assessment for today, possibly short-term dip on Bitcoin, reload, and then a second push into that 84K region could be a little bit spicy. Now, I'm going to be live trading Bitcoin and some of these altcoins as well, including the daily entry levels from the NAS and the Dow. In a couple of hours from now, you can come and watch us. Chart Hackers YouTube, come and see us live. Catch you guys later.